I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now and lock in, because what just went down on SportsCenter is about to take over NBA conversations for the next 48 hours. I was watching Scott Van Pelt's late night show when Austin Reeves, usually the calm, collected, good guy of the Los Angeles Lakers, walked in and completely lost it. And I'm not talking about a small reaction, nah, I'm talking a full personality switch on live television. The same guy who never steps out of line, never says the wrong thing, always plays it safe, went on national TV and lit up the referees, called out Stephen A. Smith by name, challenged the entire media narrative, and even dropped comments about the Lakers' situation that are about to have the front office sweating. I had to pause it and run it back because this soft-spoken Austin Reeves just turned into one of the most unpredictable forces in these playoffs. This was the exact moment that the good guy image cracked, and what triggered it is about to have fans heated up. Let's break it down. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick, before we get into it, listen to this. That like button is literally the difference between this video reaching a few hundred people or blowing up to thousands of fans. It takes 1 second, but it seriously pushes the channel forward. So go ahead and smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, one of the biggest ways to support the content. Every single like helps this spread, so don't wait, tap it now. Alright, now here's the context you need to really understand what just happened. Austin Reeves just had the game of his life. He dropped 31 points in Game 2 against the defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. 31 points, his highest playoff scoring night ever. He went 10 for 18 from the field. He was attacking the paint, getting downhill with confidence. He was knocking down mid-range pull-ups like it was nothing. He was running the offense and dishing out 6 assists. And he did all of that while fighting through an oblique injury that kept him out for an entire month and forced him to miss the end of the regular season, plus the first 4 games of the Houston series. He came back in Game 5 against Houston, started Game 6, and has been trying to find his rhythm ever since. Then, in Game 2 against OKC, boom, something finally clicked. Austin Reeves showed up looking like a star, but here's the problem. It still didn't change the result. The Lakers lost 125 to 107. They gave up 20 turnovers. They were hit with 26 fouls compared to OKC's 21. The Thunder shot 55.6% from the field, their best shooting performance of the entire playoffs. And in the third quarter, when the Lakers finally built momentum and cut the lead to single digits, OKC punched right back with a brutal 21-5 run that flipped the whole game. Throughout the night, Reeves felt like he was getting hacked on drives without whistles, while OKC was getting softer calls on the other end. With 6:06 left in the fourth, there was a jump ball between Jackson Hames and Chet Holmgren. As Reeves tried to get into position, referee John Goebel turned and yelled directly in his face. After the game, Reeves said he felt completely disrespected, like there was no reason for that kind of energy. And right after the final buzzer, he walked straight toward the officials and had to be physically pulled back by his teammates. It was caught on every camera in the arena, no debate. So when Reeves sat down with Van Pelt, you could feel the shift instantly. His eyes, different, locked in, intense. His jaw was tight like he'd been holding this in all night. His hands were clenched the entire time. This wasn't the usual calm, media-trained Austin Reeves. This was a player who had clearly reached his breaking point. Van Pelt asked him about the 31-point night and what it feels like to lose while playing at that level. "It feels like trash," Reeves said, completely straight-faced. "I don't care about 31 points. I care about winning, and we didn't win because we weren't even allowed to compete on a fair playing field." Van Pelt and brought up the post-game clash with referee John Goebel, and this is where everything flipped. Listen to this. This is where the good guy version of Austin Reeves vanished. "I don't care about fines anymore," Reeves said, staring directly into the camera. Fine me $100,000. I don't care, because what I saw last night was a disgrace to basketball, an absolute disgrace.
I dropped 31 points while getting shoved, grabbed, and hit on almost every drive. And yeah, I shot 10 free throws, which sounds like a lot, right? But with that kind of contact, it should have been 20. And LeBron only got to the line 4 times. 4! And you're talking about a guy who attacks the rim that much? Meanwhile, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is getting every soft whistle on the other end. His voice kept rising as he went on, getting sharper with every word. And then there's the John Goebel situation, Reeves continued. There's a jump ball with 6 minutes left. I'm just trying to get into position, and he turns around and yells in my face like I'm a kid, like I'm nobody. I told him right there, if I had done that first, I would have gotten hit with a tech instantly. And the only reason I didn't is that he knew he crossed the line. These refs think they can talk down to players just because they've got whistles, but we're grown men out here competing at the highest level, and getting screamed at while I'm doing my job is not okay. Van Pelt, staying composed, asked if this was just a one-time thing or something bigger. It's a pattern, Reeves said without hesitation. The Oklahoma City Thunder play the most physical defense in the league. Everybody knows that. Jalen Williams is holding on every play. Isaiah Hartenstein is setting illegal screens every possession. Their guards are hand-checking nonstop, and the refs let it slide because they're the champions, because they're the league's golden team, because SGA is the MVP, because Chet Holmgren is the next big face. The NBA protects its investments, and right now the Thunder are the biggest one. Yeah, I said what I said. At that point, the entire studio went silent because Austin Reaves, the undrafted kid who fought his way into becoming one of the league's most trusted guards, had just gone on national TV and basically accused the league of favoritism on SportsCenter with millions watching. And then, hold up, he pivoted again, this time straight at Stephen A. Smith. "Let me talk about Stephen A. Smith," Reeves said, and his tone shifted instantly. "Stephen A. said before this series that I wasn't a factor, that I couldn't impact a series against the Thunder because I'm not a real star." Well, Stephen A., 31 points doesn't sound like not a factor to me. Leading the team in scoring in Game 2 against the defending champs doesn't sound like not a factor either.
Maybe it's time to redefine what that word even means, because while you're in the studio talking, I'm out there taking hits for this team. I'm playing through an oblique injury that still isn't fully healed. I missed a month, sat out 4 playoff games against Houston, and still came back and dropped 31 on the best defense in basketball. So tell me, Stephen A., am I a factor now or what? Then Austin Reaves shifted again, and what came next? Listen, this hit completely different. "Let me be real about something nobody wants to say out loud," Reeves said. "This team is dealing with a serious situation right now. Luca Doncic is hurt, and he's been out since April 2nd. The doctors gave an 8-week timeline, which means he's not coming back in this series. He's running now, yeah, but he hasn't even started contact work yet. So let's be honest, we're trying to beat the defending champions without our best player, the guy who averaged 33.5 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 8.8 assists this season. The scoring leader in the league is gone, and people are acting like that doesn't matter, like we can just replace 34 points a night like it's nothing. That's not reality. That's not how basketball works. And I love Luca. He's my teammate, and he's doing everything he can to get back. But yeah, it hurts not having him out there, because everything changes when he plays. Defenses have to account for him every single possession. Double teams follow him, and that opens the floor for everybody else. Without him, teams load up on LeBron James, they load up on me, and suddenly guys are forced into roles they're not built for. That's a big reason for the turnovers. That's not just bad discipline, that's what happens when you're missing a superstar who creates everything. He paused for a second, and his tone dropped, more serious, more calculated. And the organization has to be real about this. We went 53-29 in the regular season. We beat Houston in the first round even without Luca, and even with me missing time. We've already shown we can fight. But this roster was built around Luca Doncic. When he's healthy, we're a true championship team. When he's not, you're asking a 41-year-old LeBron James to carry everything against the best team in the league. That's not fair to him, and it's not fair to anyone in that locker room.
I'm not here to trash the front office, but the truth is, the margin in the playoffs is razor thin, and we just don't have enough of it without Luca. We needed another creator, another scorer, and right now, we don't have that. The interview was supposed to cut to a break, but Scott Van Pelt held up his hand and asked one more question. What's your message to Laker Nation heading into Game 3? Reeves took a breath, then locked straight into the camera. To the fans who've been with us all season, through the injuries, the noise, the trade rumors, all of it, here's what I'll say. Here's my message to Laker Nation. We're not done yet, not even close. Game 1 was a test. Game 3? That's about to be a statement.
We're going back to LA, back to our building, back to our people. And I promise you, on everything I've got, the version of me you saw in Game 2 is showing up in Game 3, Game 4, and every game after that. The media wants to write us off, Stephen A. Smith wants to say I'm not a factor, the refs want to ignore every foul we're taking. Fine, we're turning all of that into fuel. But let me make one thing crystal clear, he said, his voice dropping low, but somehow hitting even harder. The Oklahoma City Thunder haven't beaten us yet. They've won 2 games in their building in front of their crowd with officiating that fits their style. They haven't beaten the real Lakers yet. They haven't beaten us in Los Angeles. They haven't beaten us with our crowd behind us. And when they walk into Crypto.com Arena on Saturday night, they're gonna meet a team that's angry, desperate, disrespected by the media, ignored by the refs, and counted out by every analyst in America. And there's nothing more dangerous than a team with nothing to lose and everything to prove. Mark it down, write it down, screenshot it, tattoo it if you have to. The Los Angeles Lakers are taking Game 3, and anybody doubting them is going to look crazy by Sunday morning. Now, let me break down what all of this actually means. First, Austin Reeves has officially stepped into the role of the team's emotional leader. LeBron James might be the GOAT, Smart might be the enforcer, but Reeves, he's the heart right now. The fact that the normally calm, respectful, soft-spoken guard out of Arkansas went on national TV and went off on the refs, the media, and the league tells you how deep the frustration really runs in that locker room. When your quietest guy becomes the loudest voice, you already know something is seriously off behind the scenes. Second, the Luca Doncic situation is huge. Reeves just confirmed what everybody suspected but didn't want to say out loud. This team is not the same without Luca, and that 8-week recovery timeline pretty much rules him out for this entire series. Luca went down on April 2nd. 8 weeks pushes his return to around early June. Even if this series stretches to 7 games, it's likely wrapped up by mid-May. Do the math, it just doesn't line up. The Lakers are on their own in this fight. Third, that front office message? Yeah, it was subtle, but it was loud if you were really listening. Reeves didn't directly call anyone out, but saying the team depends on Luca and lacks another creator or scorer is basically a quiet critique of how this roster was built. The Lakers built around LeBron, Luca, and Reeves as their core 3. Take one piece out and the whole structure starts shaking. That's not just bad luck, that's a flaw in the design, and Reeves just exposed it on national television. Fourth, that 31-point Game 2 performance, it cuts both ways. It showed Reeves can step up and dominate when he's in rhythm. But let's not forget Game 1, 3 for 16, just 8 points. That inconsistency is real, especially playing through injury. The Lakers need the Game 2 version of Reeves every single night from here on out, because if they get that Game 1 version again, this series might already be over. Laker Nation, I need you locked in right now. Sound off in the comments. Was Reeves right to go off like that? Is the officiating really that bad, or is the internet blowing it out of proportion? Can the Lakers actually pull this off without Luca? And the biggest question, listen, is Austin Reeves ready to be the hero this team needs? Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell, because Saturday night is shaping up to be the most important game of the season. Austin Reeves just threw down the gauntlet, and now the Oklahoma City Thunder have to respond. Game 3 is set inside Crypto.com Arena. The good guy version is gone. The killer has arrived. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.